Happy day, family. I hope you're feeling blessed and grateful. Today we're going to be going over 4 main things. I wrote them out right here. So we're going to be going over labels. We're going to start off with serving sizes. We're going to get a little bit into macros and micros. We're going to go into ingredients, how to read for what ingredients are in your foods. And then we're going to go into a little bit of marketing, right? So how is it that the food is marketed to us? What does it actually mean? And what is actually nutritious for us and what's not, right? So let's dive straight in. For today's purposes of demonstration, we have Greek yogurt. I actually have 2 of them. So I want to go ahead and kind of give you an idea of what first it's like to read a label, and second, how to compare, so that when you're out grocery shopping, you can make the best decisions that are in alignment with your goals. All right. So let's start off with the label itself. It's most likely going to look like this. It's rectangular. If it doesn't look like this, you're probably going to have a food item with a smaller packaging. So it's going to be horizontal, just straight up like this. But again, everything is included that's in here is the same, displayed as well in this formatting, because it's just formatting. At the end of the day, start off with our food labels. So we have nutritional facts. This is where you're going to be able to get serving sizes, how many servings are in a container, how much percentage of each micro and macro are in this container specifically, and what the main ingredients are in the container or package, whatever it is that you're looking at. So the most important thing that I personally believe that a lot of people are not aware of is that each time you look at your label, you're going to see, and it's actually highlighted right here, right? Calories. That's what a lot of people are focused on, at least in the beginning of your journey, or you understand if you eat more, you're more likely to gain weight, lose, or if you eat less, you're more likely to lose weight. Weight within itself, I do want to just go ahead and clarify, is consistent of fat, protein, also muscle. My Spanish trying to come out right there. But o sea, if you know, you know. So muscle weight, your water weight, your skin, your organs, your bones, your hair, like everything is part of weight, right? So weight is an overall holistic number, but when you look at body fat percentage and muscle mass percentage in the body, that is when you're looking more into hitting those particular goals of like toning. So toning is just basically reducing body fat, increasing body mass of protein. So just want to point that out there for whoever might have, need it, or you're looking into like what are your particular, like setting up goals for yourself. Remember that you will look different based on what goals you go for. So if you are more aiming with weight, fat, or muscle mass, again, this could be maintaining, increasing, or decreasing. All right, so back to this. We have serving size as 3/4 of a cup for this particular package. Remember, let's see this one. Well, this is 3/4 as well, but again, just to make sure to be careful and conscious of what each specific brand uses. This one also has 5 servings, and it's also 3/4 of a cup. You have 90 calories per 5 servings. So if I don't know who would eat it like this, because not a lot of people can handle Greek yogurt. If you're not used to it, it does not have a lot of flavor. But it's really high in protein, so that's one of the main benefits of this. And you can really create whatever bowls you want and like get really, make it into a smoothie, put it into other recipes, which if you have followed me on Instagram, I do post under my highlights meal ideas. I use this a lot for a lot of my meals, pastas, things like that. Okay, but so yeah, 5 servings, and then we're gonna go into calories, 90. So the main thing you need to know with the label is that you're going to multiply all these numbers times the amount of total servings if you consume the entire thing. And if not, then this is when it depends on you, like in your preference, like if you're going to sit there and weigh your food out and use measuring cups, or maybe you've been doing this longer and you can kind of eyeball it, or you just kind of like, it's not a big deal to you. Live your life, do whatever you want, whatever works for you is, you know, again, what I always recommend people to do what works for you. Learn what other people do, see their results, and be intentional about why you're following or listening to a person. I always say you can neglect, accept, or reject anything that I say or anybody else. But I do want to put that out there. So again, make sure to do your own research and learn to be self-autonomous and make decisions for yourselves, okay? So yeah, so let's say you are using a measuring cup. So you got a cup that's about like this, right? You're gonna put it up to 3/4 of the plates. And it's, again, this is very simple. Like, it literally says it on there with a little line. So it's not difficult to do. You're gonna put it on your bowl, or you're gonna put it in whatever recipe that is that you're making. And that's how you can add the micros and macros. All right, so let's keep going. So then we have fat. So this is 0 grams of fat. And then you're gonna see it's broken down into saturated and trans fat. Fat and any other macro is not either good nor bad, okay? I do want to emphasize that we stray away from this idea that like a specific food type is bad, or eating at a specific time is bad, or right. So let's unlearn to relearn how we want to have a relationship with food. And that's one of the biggest keys that I can give you, is look at it differently, right? So stop looking at food as good or bad. Just look at it as energy fuel, right? So if this is going to fuel me, it's going to give me 0 grams of fat. It's going to give me 10 milligrams of cholesterol. It's going to give me some sodium as well, 65 milligrams of sodium. And all of these things are needed in the body for the body to process and function properly. We have a total of 5 grams of carbs. And then this is one thing that a lot of people don't know, but when you see dietary fiber, this has 0, but let's say it had 3. So that means net carbs, it cancels out. There would be 2 grams of carbs. Then we have total sugars, 5 grams, which is really like, I love it. It's phenomenal. I always go for anything lower, 10 grams or lower per serving. Anything above that, it's excessive for me. And that's just how I was taught in school. I, took a lot of nutrition classes and things of that sort. So that's something I decided to take for myself. Again, do your research, see what feels good for you. But I do think that this is where a lot of people need to pay attention, is like the excess sugars, because sugar that is not broken down becomes fat. And then that's when it puts you at risk, because excessive fat puts you basically at just, risk for developing diseases. In particular cardiovascular disease, right? Clogging up those arteries. But then after that, we have our protein. So it has 18 grams of protein. As you can see, that's a pretty high number of protein. A lot of food doesn't really give you, or it depends also on the type of food you're eating. Again, everything is about you being intentional with the food you're consuming to hit your goals. And then down here, we have the micros. So we have some vitamin D. It has 0. Again, they're always going to state them, and they're just going to like fill in the percentage, right? It doesn't have any iron, but iron is also something that is on the label. Calcium, we have 200 milligrams of that. And then you're going to see these percentages right here, which I'll go to in a bit, but we have potassium, 260 milligrams, so 6%. So let's go into the percentages now. This is based off a person who is consuming, and it'll tell you right here too. The percentage daily value tells you how much a nutrient in a serving of food contributes to a daily diet of 2,000 calories a day. That's what is used for general nutritional advice. So even these labels are based off a diet that is 2,000 calories. So if your diet is way more or way less, that's just something to take into consideration, all right? And that's the importance of understanding like what you consume and how much of everything that you need. If you're a beginner, or even if you've been doing this for a while, you need more info on micros and macros. I can make another video for that another day. Comment down below in the comments some questions or comments. There's a lot of myths as well. I'll probably do a video on that. And anyways, for ingredients, what you want to make sure here that you take away from when you're reading is that the first ingredient or the first couple ingredients is going to be what is mostly concentrated in the package or in the container. So for example, grade A pasteurized skimmed milk, live active yogurt cultures, right? The most amount of product is skimmed milk. Let's use this. It's a little easier to maybe put into perspective. So for this one, it has the ingredients right here, and it is a lot of ingredients. I just kind of tried these out from Sam's, you know, a little snack. So it's dry roasted almonds, dry roasted cashews, fiber blend, and then it goes into like what's in that blend, right? Organic sugar, palm kernel oil, cocoa powder processed with just a bunch of stuff. And that's also one thing. The less ingredients and the more whole the food is, the healthier it'll be for your body. One, for digestion and breaking down, but also just two, because like only certain things should go in your body. But the way that, you know, this again is America, where I am. If you're tuning in from somewhere else, this also varies from country to country. So I do want to state that, and it's a good point to, you know, a pointer. Like I've also lived in Mexico, and well, just the US in general, just our numeric systems, or what is that called? It's just different from the rest of the fucking world. There's a couple other like places, but everyone uses a different metric system. There we go. All right. So anyways, long story short, the majority of ingredients in this entire bar is going to be made up of roasted almonds, or it has the most amount of ingredients that are roasted almonds. And it does have some walnuts, cashews, and soy. So these black ones will be mostly for people that have any allergies. So if you have allergies, you know, because if not, you'll have a really bad reaction, or, you know, you might not be here tomorrow. So it's important for you to really know what is in your food. So that's you definitely, you know, you'll probably agree. But yeah, so the last thing that we have here is caramelized sugar syrup. So that's the last ingredient. So it's more concentrated with almonds than syrup, but it's all in there. And again, the first ingredient is just going to give you an idea of like what is mainly in here. So for example, if you were to be looking for peanut butter, you want to look for a container that literally just says peanuts and maybe some salt, versus peanuts and all these other things, right? Let's look at a different one. And this is where I guess I can jump into like comparing like what's a better idea. And again, this is all going to be based on perspective and your goals. But we have here some creamy pepper jack variety. It's like these cream cheese. I even have them in here. They're like this. So I use them for like pasta sauce, my protein sauce. And it's a nice way to substitute for things that have higher calories when I am looking to consume less calories. So let's look at the nutrition facts on here, right? We have servings. We have 8. Then we have serving size 1 piece. Again, it's nice and just straightforward. It's right there. So we have 8 of those in the entire package. Amount per serving. Again, this is an example of what I said. Sometimes it's going to be like horizontal like this, but we have 25 calories. Total fat, we have 1.5 grams. Saturated fat, we have 1 gram. And remember, guys, this is per slice. So if I were to have 5 of these, I would need to multiply all these numbers by 5. Sometimes I feel like that's the part where a lot of people forget. Or if you're not educated, because honestly, if I didn't go to school for this, I probably would not know this to this extent. Probably would at some point, just because I love health. But I know this definitely was something that I learned, and I was like, wow, this is really helpful. So that's why I'm here. So then we have trans fat, we have 0 grams, cholesterol, we have 5 grams, sodium, 150 grams. And again, you see that percentage, it's going to be right next to it. There we go. So 7 of the daily value. Again, this is based on a 2,000 calorie, and it's going to say it somewhere here. The only thing I can see that is like the same is that these labels are the horizontal, more kind of like cluttered format. And these are, again, the rectangular cutout. These do have it. It's always going to be down here at the bottom. So looks like, you know, again, they changed the system of how they do this every couple of years. So like before, I don't remember exactly the difference, but it's just a couple things they changed, like the size. Like the calories now are bigger. Again, this is for people to like see like how much am I consuming, but it can still be confusing, or people can just eyeball it and it's overwhelming, and just take the 160 and run with it, right? Where I'm talking about what is best for me, right? So this is 160 calories. It's again the same amount. So it's 3/4 of a cup for 160 calories, and this is 3/4 of a cup for 90 calories. So you're getting the same amount of like mass. Right? So you're getting the same. I don't know why I'm speaking so in terms of like quantities today, but you're getting the same quantity. There you go. You're getting the same quantity of product, but what matters now, that's okay. What's gonna be different is the nutrition value of that, right? So just off the bat, this one has 70 calories more, but let's dive in and see and compare between the both of them, right? This one has 0 grams of fat. This one has 3 grams of fat. And remember that every gram of fat, carb, and protein have a certain amount of calories. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. 1 gram of carbs and protein has 4 calories. So, and again, we could do another video because that's a whole different topic of how to calculate calories, food, and all of those things. But just off the bat, this is 70 calories more. So just off the bat, if I were to be in a deficit or looking to lose weight, I probably would opt for this option because it'll keep me similarly full. But again, that's when we're going into, let's go here, protein. 23 grams of protein versus 18 grams of protein. So it is slightly higher in protein, right? So that makes sense why there's, some more calories in here. I wouldn't say it's a huge difference, but it is, 5 grams is 5 grams when, your body needs 5 grams. But other than that, so this has 9 carbs, this has 5 carbs, this has 4 sugars, this has 5 sugars. So again, technically speaking, this has less sugar than this one, which I'm really surprised right now reading it out loud myself, because I think this is vanilla flavor and it's pretty sweet. I prefer this one just because, again, preference. And also it's just, I've been eating it for so long that this will taste really sweet to me. But yeah, it actually has less sugar. It has more protein. It does have some fat in it. It is saturated fat, which is still again, I want to stay away from the good and the bad fat, but I prefer saturated over trans fat. And that's just me right now, as of right now. So again, do your own research. Cholesterol has 20 grams. This has 10 grams. So it does have more cholesterol. Sodium has 65 and sodium has 55. So this is when I would get really personal with myself and ask myself, right? Like, let's say you have high blood pressure, you want to stay away from the sodium. So for you, your most benefit would stay away from sodium. So you'd probably opt for the, again, it's about intention, right? Like, what are you tracking? What are you working on for your body? So if you're looking at sodium levels and you need to stay away from high sodium, I would go for the one with the I think this one has it. Oh, this one, least amount of sodium. If you're looking to hit your protein goals, I would probably go for this one because it gives you 5 more grams. If you're looking for weight and reducing body weight, calories are going to matter a bit more. So then I would go for this one. So as you can see, there are many reasons why I can choose this one or I can choose this one. But at the end of the day, the function of the food is the same, right? And you can use it similarly because this one does have flavor and this one doesn't have flavor. So again, it's all based on preference and intention. Like, what are you using it for and how are you using it? If that makes sense. I have 100 calories for this one. Again, same thing. It's 1/8 of a package. So this is going to be the same thing. There's going to be 8 times whatever is in here for this one and 8 times whatever is in here for this one. So the calories are 100 calories per portion versus 25 calories per portion. So again, this is when it goes back to the same thing of which one is best, right? If you're focusing on maybe cutting down weight, then I would go for this one because you're getting 25 calories versus 100 calories. So you're saving yourself 75 calories for another meal, for something else throughout the day when you use this option versus this option. But let's continue to see what the difference is. Then we have total fat. This one has 10 grams of fat. And this one has 1.5 gram of fat. So this has less fat. So again, if you're looking, like let's say you have cholesterol, you probably want to go with the option that has less fat. Or again, there's different kinds of cholesterol too. There's good and bad cholesterol. That's literally how they say it, but it's just like cholesterol that helps you, and you need both. You need a certain amount of both. Protein, this has 2 grams of protein, 2 grams of protein. So in terms of protein, these both have the same amount. So if it's something that you're putting into your food specifically to contribute to protein, it's the same. So you can go with either or. If you're focused on weight, I would probably go this one if you don't want to gain weight. If you don't care, it's included in your plan. Again, to each their own, be specific, and that's why it's important that you understand what your plan is, how you're going to execute it, and which factors are going to be determining for you to make decisions off. But let's go to our ingredients. So this one does have a couple more ingredients, right? We have cheddar, semi-soft Swiss, and Monterey Jack cheese, pasteurized milk, and part skim milk, and some other stuff. And then for this one, we have pasteurized milk, cream, salt, carob bean gum, cheese culture. That's it. So this one's pretty straightforward. So for sakes of ingredients, personally, I would appreciate this a little more because it's less ingredients. Then again, you do have to go into like who is creating these products. And that's, I'm going to be completely honest, guys, something that I myself am still in the process of deciding which companies I want to go ahead and invest into when it comes to my food and my nutrition. But again, it takes time and research, so do that. It does take some extra time when you're going out and grocery shopping, but you will get more nutrition that is in alignment with your goal and hopefully enhance the outcomes, you know? So that's that. Again, any comments, questions, concerns, whatever, put them down in the comments. Comes to, let's see, marketing. So this is a nut bar. There's so many nut bars. What's the difference? Marketing, the branding, who makes it. For example, this one right here says Members Mark. And if you know, if you're again in the States, or there's a Sam's Club near you, because I know they're in different countries, you know, this is their logo. So again, it's just branding, marketing, like anything else, right? Trying to look for, like, for example, I have my tarot deck, right? This is their logo, their branding, right? Their image, how they present themselves. So this is just, again, it's always going to be on there somewhere, the brand. And then you're going to have, you know, obviously like a nice little, usually they try to, you know, make it captivating for the consumer. So nice and bright, big letters where you can read it, nice, simple, dark chocolate sea salt, highlight, you know, like some features that might be, again, captivating. So obviously they're going to highlight the grams of protein. So 6 grams of protein per bar. Then they usually put no artificial ingredients. So this is where it gets tricky, right? No artificial ingredients. Let's go and read the ingredients. So the prebiotic with many health benefits. And again, I'm just doing a Google research, but even within Google, anyone can just, whoever has the most amount of ads or who's ever like highly visited, what's going to pop up first. So that's another thing, that if you're ever like doing research on your ingredients, on your whatever it is that you're looking at, make sure you're researching from a credible source, usually like a .gov, anything of that nature. A lot of like WebMD, stuff like that, like I wouldn't trust that. And even for like research papers back in school, like that wasn't a reliable source for a lot of my research projects, with nutrition or just health in general, right? So for example, medicalnewstoday.com, again, it's someone editing that information that you cannot really say has the highest credentials of being, in fact, factual information. So again, this one would be a little more of higher validity, right? Wikipedia, obviously we all know, right? I hope we know. Anyone can just go and edit information on there. But yeah, all of these websites, anyone can buy a domain and create a website and start to put information on there. So I just want to give you guys, again, some perspective, right? So make sure it's like accredited. For example, nationalcancerinstitute.gov, like that's an accredited institute. It's like a root. Like this is what comes out. So again, it's natural. That's my key. That's the main thing we're looking here for. Is it natural? Is it man-made? Dark chocolate flavored coating, organic sugar, palm kernel oil, cocoa powder. It does say here, processed with alkali. So it is processed in a way. Unsweetened chocolate, sunflower lectin. So just be careful about that. So overall, I guess it's not like super bad. What I wanted to really like point out was when something will be like fat-free or like healthy this, healthy that. Maybe I'll go ahead and go to the grocery store one day to actually show you, because I stay away from those things. But another thing, right? So for example, here's highlighting 0 grams of added sugar. Most people will just look for that, right? Like added sugars. We're a little more conscious now of like how to eat or what to eat. So brands will leverage that to highlight that as a benefit, so that you're more like to psychologically be like, oh, that's healthier, oh, that's better, oh, XYZ. With other natural flavors. So they want to obviously right away captivate you by saying natural, healthy, free of this. For example, again here, vitamin D and calcium for strong bones. So they're really highlighting that in the package itself. Let's check how much vitamin D is in here. It's only 10% of what you need on your daily, like for your daily requirement. So again, that's where you say like, okay, 10% of the entire day's worth, like again, you get to decide. Start to become conscious and look at your products and really see like what's being highlighted, what's being like sold to you in a way, because that's technically what they're doing, right? Like right here, they put made with milk from cows, not treated with RBST, so some type of chemicals or drugs, or I don't know specifically this one, to be honest, but again, that's what's being here sold to you, right? Like, pick this one, we don't do this, we like, how are they better from the competitors, right? No, again, highlighting no artificial flavors, which again is good because you don't want that, because a lot of food does have artificial flavors and things of that nature. But right here, even check this, right? They're literally claiming right here that they're free from this RBST. And in the back of the packaging, in very small print, right here, it says, no significant difference has been shown between milk derived from RBST treated and non-RBST treated cows. So they're really like telling you like, oh, this is free from this, but it doesn't really matter. But it's on the back. But they're just selling you it. So, again, just, you know, little things like this is what I would really look for, or start to maybe get in the habit of just taking into consideration. For example, this one, perfect, right? There's the regular, this is a regular one, and then there's like the fat-free one. That's how they market and sell you that one, saying it's fat-free, because a lot of people have that association that fat-free now is healthy, and before it used to be carbs are bad, now it's fat is bad. So like, it's all changing based on society norms, how they market things, what's trending, what's not. So that's why it's very important to stay educated and just be aware of, again, your goals, what you want, what you're putting into your body, and how that's going to affect your overall quality of life. Okay, another way that, again, with marketing, right? Fresh milk and real cream. So that right there, if you were to be looking at another brand and it just said like cream and milk, you're more likely to go with fresh milk and real cream, because it just sounds, you know, like it's better quality. But again, it's just wording, and there has no, even if they were to see like healthy Philadelphia, like there is no requirement that it has to be healthy for something to be marketed as healthy. There we go. That's the one. That's the one that I was really like somewhere in the back of my brain looking for, to say they have no requirements to, as into what you can label on here and the actual truth of that. Does that make sense? Because it's all perception based. So again, anything can say healthy, holistic, whatever, and it's not really, right? Or it's just based off one small thing that, for example, like not a lot of fat or things of that nature. So just be very careful when you are purchasing your items and consuming them and putting them into your body, because you do become what you eat, in sense of energy is everything. We are energy, and food is just how we energize and fuel our body. So with that being said, this was a decent longish video. So thank you for coming today, getting educated, share with friends, people that really need this. Again, I'm trying to really get to those individuals that genuinely, some people take this information lightly. Other people, like, this information can and will save their lives if they are dealing with any type of diabetes or disease like that. Like, all of these things are preventable. And when we consume higher quality foods, our bodies can fight off those diseases or prevent them a little easier. A tool that I also have for you guys to use is my notebook here. I'll put the link down below. You can grab them on Amazon. It's called Move to Elevate. It is a journal. It is a part of my program that I offer. But for the purposes of today, I just want to highlight the section where you have your ability to track your meals. So you track your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, any snacks or supplements that you had. and then you just list them on there. And again, depending on your goal, you're going to put your macros on the side, or it's just for tracking to see what your mood is, because there is a correlation between what you eat and how you feel. And obviously then we have our energy levels, which is another thing that I put in this one. But there we go. So we have our hours of sleep and our energy levels. Here we go. Perfect. Right here. So this is a way for you to track like how energized were you. Let's say you're really fatigued. You can come back and then look at your entries, right? Put the day into coordination. So what day is it? What day is it up here? And then look at what foods you were eating, how you were feeling, and what level of energy you had. And slowly but surely, you start to create, you know, some type of correlation, some type of factual information. And I say factual because it's objective. Objective, that's a better word. Objective information you can observe to create small changes, and then see if those changes either increase or decrease the results that you're looking for. So that's all I have to say today. Thank you guys for showing up today for yourselves. Share, comment, subscribe, whatever, yada yada. I'm looking forward to making more of these types of videos, so stick around. Again, subscribe. I'm about to start loading you guys with a bunch of information. It's time. We're ready. Let's get it. I love y'all.